Oh boy, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Yes. Hello guys. How have you been? It's been quite some time and I am super happy. So let me tell you the reason why I'm so happy. Recently, there has been a new global patch labs and with this new patch came buffs to DK. Yay! Okay, but enough of the overexcitement stuff. Let me tell you, there's a reason. Okay, there's a reason. Trust the process. Trust the process. So, if you guys are familiar with what I've been trying to do in this channel, I've been trying to talk to DK, and I have made a video post rework that explained the changes and if I was happy with the changes. And in my conclusion, I thought the rework was quite lackluster in terms of PvE because it didn't solve some of the mechanical issues that we previously had on the pre-reboot era with Dark Knight Awakening PvE. And not only that, it also added the matter that our pulling skill got removed. Granted, it was not a very good pulling skill, but it was still a pulling skill, and in some matters, it got even worse. So don't get me wrong, even though I was happy about the changes we've got because we got a lot of good changes and the trash did improve, I was sad to see that the issues that I had previously pointed, such as the lack of filler damage, no pulling skill, and the very long cooldowns, were not solved until this patch. So let me start tackling the issues one by one for you to understand how it was and how the devs thought they would solve it. The first issue that we're going to tackle is the lack of filler damage. So the first solution that the devs tried to come up with was to increase the damage on a Grip of Grudge. So they reworked the skill, gave it a bigger AoE, gave it more PvE damage. However, because of the lack of PvE crit damage and being unprotected, this filler damage felt quite lackluster. So we're in a situation where even though you use that, it was a unusable skill. It would be the same as going back to Reawaken and using either Wheel of Fortune or Lunacy of Adir, which kind of missed the point. So the way they did this change is that they just simply added PvE crit and reduced the CD cooldown. So now you can upgrade a crit buff with this skill and give enough damage, and hopefully it's going to solve the issue of not having to resource back to Reawakening, because the damage of this skill is going to be enough to keep yourself doing decent damage on Awakening only. The second change that they did was quite minimal, so they added more damage to Spirit Blaze and Flow Spirit Blaze. Those two, they have their own issues. I don't think that they are at the best. But Flow Spirit Blaze was an usable skill, especially because it has a swap from Pre-Awakening to Awakening, in which when you were grinding in Awakening Dark Knight, you have to constantly swap to Pre-Awakening to use the movement skills that don't cost stamina, so you can easily reach other packs. And it's nice to get a buff in this skill. It's good. It was a good buff. There's not much to comment on this one, sorry. Now the third change caught me by surprise because it was the most unexpected one, but also the best one. And with that, it was on the skill Soul Snatch. So Soul Snatch got readjusted, got reworked into a new skill. They gave it more PvE damage, they gave it crit chance, and it's a spammable on cooldown. So they gave us Old Cluster back, but now you have 2 swords instead of 1. Oh my god, this is so cool. And the reason why this is so cool is not just because we got a pulling skill. It is Old Cluster, something that it was highly requested by some members you might know as moi. So it was really good to see that they listened to feedback, that they listened to reasonable feedback, because the reason why we wanted Old Cluster back, it was not because it was a spammable 3-3, but rather because it was our best pulling skill that allowed us to stay in Awakening while pulling the mobs. So it was really good. And the way they found a solution for this was to reusing a skill that was previously had a very niche use, but now it's going to make easier for newer Dark Knights, for newer people who are getting into the class, to be able to get good results with the grinding. And with that, basically, the mechanical problems that we had before from the class got solved. Now, the only thing I'm still quite unsure about the grinding the PvE place is that the damage is going to be enough to reach the same level as the top grinding class, which I'm not going to be like super optimistic and say, oh, it's definitely going to be an S plus tier. Sorry, it's not going to be an S plus tier because it's still quite not on the low APM side, but it is going to be a very good grinding class, and that's enough for me. And if you really like this class, that should be enough for you too. So this is why this video, I'm very happy about it. I can't hide the excitement on it. And I'm not going to hide that part of my excitement is because I saw that they took the feedback, they took the feedback that it was proper, that it was needed, and applied it to the game in a manner that it did not affect the PvP of the class. So it brought me some hope that at least they are aware of the changes that they are doing. They are trying to modify the classes. They are trying to solve the problems that users pointed it out in a way that it's not going to affect the other part of development. As for PvP changes, I'm not going to get into that. We are not ready for this discussion yet, but I hope that in the future they keep on trying to solve problems like they solved this problem with a very, very reasonable solution, with a very good one, and it was better than what I expected. I'm going to be honest. I will give them that. So thank you, devs. That was very nice. And that's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching me, and yeah, that's it. Bye bye.